Inspiration motivates. And that's what I'm here to do. To inspire motivation. I'm like a coach with my teaching approach. It's not subtle, it's not soft, it's more tough, a little more coarse, a little more rigid, but we need that. We're being overconsumed with soft love, and we need more tough love to balance things out. Um, and of course, when a coach motivate or a coach inspires motivation, or a coach gets you motivated, it's not done politely. Sometimes it's done abruptly. Sometimes the way that they say things isn't always going to make you feel good. It's not always going to be said in a pleasant manner. So it's not going to be, come on, please. I'm going to need you to focus a little more. I'm going to need you to try a little harder. Could you really just please just have a little more discipline? No, a coach is going to tell you to get it together, to get it moving. A coach is going to tell you what you're doing wrong, how you're doing it wrong, how you need to do it right, and the proper way to execute in order to do so. They're not going to sugarcoat it. They're going to be blunt. And that's the problem. We got too much sugarcoating going on. A sugarcoat is artificial. Sugar-coated. It's artificial sugar. I don't promote that anyway. Artificial sugars are bad for you. They damage you physically, mentally, spiritually. So we need less sugarcoating because that's decaying the people. We need more. We just need to be blunt. Instead of the sugar coat, let's skip the sugar. Let's just get to the fruit of things. Let's just get to the source, to the root. We don't have to play with any copies or generic imitations or watered down versions of what the issue is. The issue is you, then there's something that you need to do to fix that issue. If you lack discipline, you need to gain more discipline. If you lack motivation, you need to become more motivated. If you lack inspiration, then that means you're in need of inspiration. So you should be gravitating towards things that will elevate you. You should be gravitating towards things that will inspire you, more constructive things. If it's music, it should be constructive music. Something that's on a higher vibration, not anything that's on the low frequency vibration, not anything that's on the chaos frequency. People are already overly chaotic or in a state of chaos. So we need something more subtle, something to inspire thought, something to soothe the wild beast, which music comes from the root word muse, which means to think. So music is something that is supposed to inspire thought, something that's supposed to build thought, something that is meant to be a positive inspiration through positive vibration. Now, that's another story for another time. Getting into the sciences behind the music and the vibrations and things of that nature. So we just want to focus on the fruit at hand, which is direction, which is motivation and inspiration, and how inspiration motivates. And I hear a lot of people say, lead by example. You lead by example, they say you're imposing your ways on others. You're trying to make them do as you do. They want you to lead, but they don't want to follow. They want you to lead by example, but they don't like the example that you're setting. See, you can't revolt against and remain attached to at the same time to the same thing. You have to detach in order to revolt. You can't revolt and attach at the same time. It's one or the other. So people are putting themselves in positions that they're not meant to go in because they're trying to revolt and attach at the same time. And this is causing emotional disturbance, emotional distress, confusion. As the result of this, people panic and do things based off of their emotions. They defer logic and better judgment for emotion. Some people will even go as far as to tell a person to not judge or to not pass judgment. But see, you can't have wisdom without judgment. Look up the word wisdom, wise, then look up the word dome. See, you're dealing with judgment. So in order to have wisdom, you must have judgment. In order to gain wisdom, in order to utilize wisdom, judgment must take place. To be judgmental, judgmental, mental judge. It's how you judge things mentally. Now, do we have the discipline to detach? Do we have the discipline to revolt? These are the questions we need to ask ourselves instead of making excuses for staying attached. If we know that we need to detach, if we know that we need to revolt or to go against the current parasitic system that's in place, shouldn't we be strengthening our levels of discipline in order to do so? Now again, I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm not ordering you to do anything. I'm just making constructive suggestions. Some may even call it constructive criticism. See, and then again, we go back to leading by example. Some may want to know, what do I do? What don't I do? Why do I do or don't do the things that I do or don't do? See, if I make a reference to people being sucked into entertainment, being entertained, not being educated enough, that's because I've already unplugged from that realm of entertainment. If I mention something about holistic living, clean living, diet, and lifestyle, that's because I've already detached from toxic living, diet, lifestyle. I'm not going to suggest something that I haven't done myself. So I'm not going to suggest a pro-melanin diet if myself have not experienced the benefits of a pro-melanin diet. If I've been on both sides, eating clean and eating unclean, I can tell you the advantages and the disadvantages of either. Now, there is strength in numbers. We need to walk together. Those that are on a higher level of consciousness, because there are different levels of consciousness, they should be allowed to assist others on lower levels of consciousness or on different levels of consciousness move from level to level without resistance. Because if we're saying that we want someone to lead by example, which if there's a leader, there's a follower, and I prefer guidance or giving guidance, because then we're walking together side by side as a unit. No one's falling behind, no one's moving too far ahead. We move in unison. So it's really just about having the discipline, the dedication, the self-control, the self-restraint, and the right knowledge to correct the wrong behavior. We have to stop making excuses. We have to stop justifying and rationalizing these perverted lifestyles that we've been trained to live, these toxic lifestyles that we've been programmed and conditioned to enjoy so much. See, a lot of people don't want to rebel or revolt because they don't want to sacrifice, or they don't want to let go of these things that they've grown to be so fond of emotionally. See, your chakras are your emotions, or your emotions are your chakras. So if they're controlling your emotions, they're controlling your chakras, they're controlling your actions. See, if they control your values, they control your ethics. If they control your ethics, they control your behavior. If they control your behavior, they control your thinking. If they control your thinking, they control your actions. And if they control your actions, they control you. So, again, I'm not here to critique. I'm just here to inspire. And inspiration motivates. So, me leading by example is me sharing my story with you and helping to motivate you by giving you inspiration. So with that being said, wholeness, family. Rise and be greater. And remember, we don't have to be on the same page to progress. As long as we're in the same book, we can move forward together, page by page. Each page leads to the next. Each page is a continuation of the last, continuously moving forward, progressing from one chapter to the next. Let that be us.